And we're live.
Hi.
Play that applause again. This is your applause. Drip's unfired, everybody. It's still going. I mean, the claps are still going.
Yeah, don't worry. They're going to keep going.
Welcome back, sir. This is the Drip G podcast. This is also the pre-show. Tonight, we're talking about the fact that the Switch 2 could have dual screens. That's cool.
The fact that the Switch 2 will have dual screens.
I didn't write that. We're not clickbaiting. No clickbaiting.
I'm the king of clickbait.
You are the king of clickbait. You've been dubbed thee by your comment section.
Yes.
Sorry, Drip is getting reacclimated with his new computer. That's like camera shutters, not applause. And Drip is currently looking for a good applause sound because, again, his new computer he's lost a few things. He's trying to get them back.
All right, we're working on it. We're good. We got some stuff here.
Hi, chat. How we doing? Welcome in. I'm sending the Discord notifications out now. Appreciate you guys being here. What is up, Ed Chang? What is up, Joy Pitts? Ty? He's hired again. He's been hired. Yep.
I'm back.
We got him for a 4-year contract. Got him for a steal.
Yeah, I was had to hold out, man.
We're not revealing his contract size as of yet, unless we get to 15 likes.
No,
on the stream.
We're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get into those details. How long? What the amount of money? We're not gonna get into those details.
I already said 4.
I
revealed that much.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
sorry.
My agent told me not to talk about that.
Well, sorry. Fuck your agent. Joe needs a beer.
Let me get some music.
BRB. Ed Chang is here. What's up, man? I'm finally here and ready to experience the beer of the week. Oh, I
got one.
Do you have one? Okay, I don't have one.
Palmer spiked, half and half.
Hey.
Iced tea lemonade.
Nice.
Yep,
Joey Pitts.
5% alcohol. It's good stuff.
Joey Pitts. Ed Chang, I'm rocking my classic Yeti, ridiculous oversized thing that I used to use for when I worked at a. I was gonna say janitor, but definitely was not a janitor. I was the utilities man. I did everything. Anyway, this is way overkill for sitting at a desk, but got my big old fat Yeti, industrial Yeti with water, not vodka, contrary to belief of some humans. Delicious. Yes, Drip is back. Drip is indeed back as we prepare for this show here.
I am trying to find us some music.
Oh, nice. Pick us something. Ooh. Definitely turn her down. Yeah. That's good.
Nintendo Land.
I like
Nintendo Land music.
I didn't play that one. That's a Wii U game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't play that one. I would like to play that one. I can play that one. My Wii U's sitting right here. I can hook up to the capture card and play it one day. I just got to buy the disc.
It is absolutely amazing how much louder all this stuff is on this Mac than it was on my poor little PC.
Louder as in you can hear better?
Everything. Just the inputs on my wavelength. I used to have this music halfway up for it to even be for me to even hear it.
Oh,
it's so loud. I have it barely up.
I mean, that's not necessarily because the computer sucked. That was just your sound card was underpowered. My interface where I use to listen to my computer sounds, it's a bit underpowered for my ears, especially when I'm trying to run this mic and listen to my voice and hear everything. So what I have is overkill, but you basically just have a better sound card on the Mac, which is not not.
Dude, this thing.
Give your credit, give your computer some credit. He did some work for you, but your new Mac Mini is probably gonna kill that thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's crazy. It's sheets.
Yo, what's up, man?
Listen. Seriously, you should see the comments of the video from yesterday, dude. People there were several very angry people. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry that you're confused that I don't actually have a Nintendo Switch 2 in my possession right now. I almost wanted to be like, listen, be careful. Because Beat 'em Up's just put a video out where he's riding a Joy-Con from the Switch 2. And I'm going to let you know now, he doesn't actually have that Joy-Con.
Yeah,
so
it's also,
be careful.
It also probably isn't that big either. I don't think he's a leprechaun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're going to be so mad. That's not even the size of a joy, like canceled.
People
Canceled.
are stupid, Drip. If we've learned anything over the past 8 years,
Yeah, like people
is
are
that
like,
people
he's
are
not
stupid.
playing the Switch too early. Like, yeah, actually, I fucking am. Like, watch the video. I am. It's happening. I don't
clickbait.
know.
You're
It's whatever.
lying.
Yeah, I'm lying. I'm just lying about it.
Clickbait. You don't have one right now. Didn't say that.
You're
Didn't-
right.
Didn't
I
read
didn't
that
say
way.
I had one. Did not say I have one.
Oh, people.
Like,
This-
not once did I say in any of that I have a Switch 2 in my possession. Did I make it look like there was one in my hand in the
hardly. It did a bad
thumbnail?
job.
Yeah, it
I see,
didn't even
your
look that
thumb was like
good.
hanging off, and it looked terrible. It was awful. Bad
Yeah,
job.
it
You're
wasn't
bad
even-
at what you do, Drip.
It wasn't even that good. I mean, I did a fake Switch 2 Pro controller like 2 weeks ago that looked way more believable, and no one said a word about that.
I guess the people's problem is unless you go completely beat 'em up level outrageous, right? Literally riding a Joy-Con, like then it's and of course they call him clickbait too, which he kind of is. But I mean, everybody on YouTube is to an extent. You kind of have to be. It's the way
Yeah,
the systems
I mean, I
work.
don't know. I
That's
don't
like
care.
saying
I
people.
never-
It's like saying Americans are greedy. Well, yeah, we need money to survive, to put roofs over our heads, to eat. Like, yeah, we're gonna be greedy. We need some money. Like, no shit. We're all a little greedy. We need money. It's
Yeah.
You're all clickbaiters. Yeah. That's the way YouTube is set up. It's set up to people. The only way your video gets watched is if you impress somebody with a thumbnail for at least a 0.5 seconds where they click on it. Meaning you got to clickbait them a little bit. You have to.
And I mean, I didn't think I did anything totally egregious.
No, nothing. Not especially not in that one. Maybe in other ones you could. People have some arguments, but definitely not.
Yeah,
that one.
I mean, in this one, it's like, dude, you can totally tell I'm not holding. Like, I didn't even try to make it like super believable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's glowing for God's sake.
Anywho, I mean, whatever, man. Whatever, man. And by the way, and Powerman just said advert, but part of being fully monetized on YouTube now means that we do have ads running on our live streams, which we did not previously. So I apologize if there's some ads, because last week there were some ad comments as well. I think that I have them set to like every 24 minutes you'll get an ad. So that's like just for full transparency. That's what we have. It's like the second lowest option that you can go. So we're not
Is
too.
there, do you get to turn them off if you're a member?
No idea. I do not know.
Is that
would be
a
great.
thing they
I
do?
bet you that's a
I
YouTube
don't-
feature that they don't have that they should, because they're not.
I bet they don't. I don't think it's
What
a
is this?
feature.
What
Now that I'm
we
thinking
got
about
playing?
it, like,
Hey, by the way, what you got playing right now? Is this still Nintendo
Wii Fit?
music? Okay.
yeah,
Just-
it's
I
a
just-
whole Wii Fit. It's
Yeah.
Wii. Yeah,
We gotta
Wii
protect.
music.
We
And
gotta
it says
protect our
it's-
15 cents that we get from this live stream, Drip. Okay.
It also said that it's royalty free.
Okay.
So
Just be careful. We got those pennies. They add up. in
They do add up.
In 15 years, maybe we'll be able to buy something.
yeah, let me before we get really rolling here, let me share this on my community tab.
Yeah, do that.
Yo, I'm telling you right now. I hope I don't forget everything. I have so many
What's up, Jeff?
crazy things.
What's up, Cubs of the Games? Hey, Scott's back. What did you think of Scott last week? Taking your place for a week.
I didn't get to see all of it. I stopped in for a little bit, but like my internet I was using like 5G, and my shit in my house is terrible if I don't have like my Wi-Fi. So it was in and out, and I saw like 10 minutes of it. But from what I saw, it was great.
Yeah,
you guys did a
did you
fantastic
like
job.
how he was in the room with me? I thought that was the funniest thing.
I did, because actually I saw you move your arm this way or something. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It was great. Thanks, Scott. You're fired, though. You're fired.
Yeah. Also, I really, really appreciate you hopping in last minute. That was like
it was
the
super nice.
last of last minute, and I really, really appreciate it. So I haven't got to thank you yet. So thank you.
He set up his streaming stuff like all like last second for us. It was very much appreciated. Thank you, man. Well, you're fired though. Sorry. Get out.
Ouch. What's happening here? Come on.
What was this about Drip's computer from earlier? Drip got that Mac Mini, which he's currently running his life off of now. That's what. The stream's still.
everything.
Of course, the stream's still being run by me, but as far as his end, he's now running off a Mac Mini, which is much nicer.
Yeah. Mac Mini M4.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, I'm so jealous. That thing would wipe the floor of my computer.
Dude, it's sick. I can do so many things at once. I'm running a 49-inch widescreen and a 40-inch widescreen.
That's great.
Running like Final Cut Pro down here. I got, and you know what's really cool with this too? I don't have to use what's the voice recording software?
Voice recording software.
Yeah, the free one. Yeah, I don't even have to use that. I just use GarageBand. And it has all kinds of like built-in like
and it's more user friendly
features to it has built-in features to like just make my voice better. Like, oh, it's amazing. Like stuff for voiceovers and things. Holy crap. It's crazy.
And just a reminder, the Eagles are still Super Bowl champions.
That's awesome. Nice hat. Love the hat.
2 times. Yes. So my sugar daddy got it for me.
Love the hat.
Yeah. I love it too, man. It's my favorite hat now. They make them different now. Like so this is still New Era.
Yeah,
but like,
that was the night.
Yeah, this is the one.
I was literally
they make them
refreshing the page, waiting for them to put it up, and it came up, and I was there.
Yeah. It's just like they make them like helmets now. They're so firm. Like this part of the hat, it's like basically plastic, which is which I prefer because over time my hats sink. I have my oldest hat is probably that I wear every day. That black one I wear. It's probably like at this point 8 years old. Yeah, it's after a long time here, it's been sinking down and like doesn't look good anymore. That's why I definitely wear it backwards only.
This probably will not.
No, this one will not. This one.
Well, I'll tell you what. For what they charge for those things at this point, it should be heated.
I mean, they've been the same price for a while, but they're much more expensive than like when I was in high school. Like
I haven't bought actually, I used to have hats sent to me, so it's like I'll just wear those. That's what I've been doing for a long time. I just have a bunch of them from like vape companies or like whatever. They're nice. Yeah, they better be. Share, not copy link. I want to
not
share.
Firing him, Scott. He's not being fired. He's my problem. He's my burden. I must bear it. Disgusting guy. Don't lie. You're not anti-Eagles. I mean, you're just a little salty because the Titans are bad. That's all. That's all. I like this music set. I mean, it's just Nintendo music, right? But I like it.
Yeah. This is the 3DS.
Is the hat AI?
This is the 3DS theme shop music. Hey, I need to jump out of Discord and right back in real quick. You are blurry.
You're gonna ruin this, but okay.
Am I?
Just do it. And the music's gone. Don't look. Don't look at the other screen. Oh, he's back. Okay.
And you are no longer blurry.
I gotta.
Yes, you are. Oh, no, you're not. You're good.
Why am I blurry?
I don't know. It was very blurry, but you're good now.
New computer things. Hey?
Yeah, I'm still like trying to figure it all out. There's certain little things that I still have not quite figured out. Not a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a few things.
Take some time. Take some time.
No, it's not. Shush. It's not.
Man, I can't wait for your next, like, not this birthday upcoming, but your next one.
God,
I'm excited for that.
Hey,
one.
At least we'll be at the Zelda 40th anniversary at that point.
Hell yeah.
Something to look forward to, at least.
Indeed. Guys, Drip's birthday is on March 10th. Not that that's a secret, but
no, it's not.
It's on March 10th. Mario Day.
Keep that a secret, considering it's Mario Day.
Yeah.
Dude is a monster.
Dude, a monster. What's up, man? I'm really digging this tune, man. I like him.
Yeah, it's good. A little redirect.
Yeah, get that redirect. This is the show now. We're just gonna dance to Nintendo music.
Oh, we didn't have one up.
Watch the car.
Who's streaming first? You or me? Me. The redirect's going right over to my live for tomorrow. So, after this, if you're redirected over to my live on my channel tomorrow, make sure you set a little reminder so it goes
you're live tomorrow?
You're
live tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning at 11:30, we are putting this in a Switch Lite.
Did the cook? Now we're gonna cook.
All right.
Stir, 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 stir. and flip the cakes. Flip the cakes. Flip the
Running the
cakes,
Super Bowl
cakes.
gear into the earth, brother.
Running the Super Bowl gear into the earth? What am I doing? I don't understand this slang.
You're running it into the
Poppycock.
ground.
Why? Because I'm dancing?
No, just because you're just wearing it. Super Bowl gear, just nonstop, running it into the ground. Do you not know the saying?
Well, I mean, last week I was just wearing the hat. The jersey wasn't Super Bowl gear. It's just Eagles jersey. And the week before that, we weren't live. So I couldn't celebrate the Eagles Super Bowl. I guess I'm wearing it on Twitch a little bit. I wear my hat, dude. I'm going to wear my hat, man. My sugar daddy bought it for me. I got to wear the hat. And this is actually Abby's, but for some reason she bought it a size up, which fits me, my larger size at the moment, much better. So this is hers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell
no
you,
one likes us. We don't care. You see that? No one likes us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I would be offended if you weren't wearing the hat.
Two.
I see two. Yeah, I see two. It's great.
Let's put them.
It's good. You wanna start the show before I forget all the fun stuff that I want to talk about?
We're doing a show.
Yeah. Supposed to be.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We should do a show now. It's not. It's a dude size. No, she gets dude size. Women, Power Matt. I'm not sure if you have a friend who is a lady in your life, but ladies buy dude stuff all the time. Like especially like hoodies. Like hoodies. She buys dudes hoodies all the time. She wears my hoodies more than she wears her own, and she has like 5 to 10 times more than I do.
Yeah, my kids all wear like
about that.
oversized men's hoodies. I don't know, like that's all they wear. It's like oversized t-shirts and oversized hoodies.
I mean, she looks cute when she's wearing them. That's all that matters, right?
This newfangled, he's new generation of kids out here, man. I tell you what.
Hey, Mrs. Jeeb's a Gen. What's the one before after millennial?
Gen Z.
Yeah, she's that one. She's or whatever. She's not a millennial. I'm a millennial, but she's on.
Damn kids.
She's technically that like when people talk about like the borders of millennial and the younger generation.
The cutoff year.
She is the cutoff year, so it's like she could be either one, whatever she wants. Whoever she identifies, and if I may say so, she probably, in my opinion, she identifies more as the younger generation. Where I'm the old man, I might as well be. I might as well be 40 right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know how you get up and down from the basement. They got to put one of them
stair
electric
lifts?
chairs.
My grandmom had one when she was living with us. She had one in her house.
I know, man. House. You need one. Old as hell.
I'm too
like
fat. I don't fit in those. I probably max the weight out. I'm too.
I don't think so, man. I mean, they're pretty serious things. I think you could probably fit 2 or 3 people in.
They're really
you can.
No. After my brother got married, we had a friend staying at our house. We were at my parents' house. Well, all of us were at our parents' house. So he was fucking around on the stair lift. I just have this image of our buddy Andrew Rabano like going up and down on my grandma's stair lift. I just have this image. Let's start the show.
Sure. Let me turn this.
Mega Boy is a millennial and a decade older than Jeeb. Yeah, that's about right. You're probably on the top end of the millennials, and I'm on the younger end of the millennials. Yeah, the generations, man, they work weird. Some generations are like 20 years, like 2 decades, 20 years long. Like generations are weird. All right. You ready? Are you ready, Mr. Krabs?
I am ready.
By the way, guys, if we get to 15 likes, then Drip reveals his contract for the Drip and G podcast.
I'm not revealing my contract. I'm telling
15
you.
likes.
My agent already told me we're not doing it. We're not talking about it.
Too bad. Start the show. Welcome everyone to the Drip and G podcast. I'm your host, Uncle G, and with me is the unfired host, Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also become a member of this podcast on YouTube and get extra content every single month, like this Friday. Whether Drip is going to be here or not, we're doing a members podcast because
I'm
we need
definitely
to.
not. I'm sorry.
You're fired again.
Band practice. I have band practice.
You're fired again.
I'm sorry.
He's fired again.
Sorry. I was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. I had to cancel that too, because the guys we got a new practice space.
Did you?
We got our own practice space. Yeah, we're renting a little spot.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Mr.
what we did
Moneybags over there.
Well, what we did, it's actually super cheap. Here's the thing. We did we're doing a storage unit. We're practicing in a big storage unit. Like those big buildings that you have
Yeah.
You go in you
But,
get
like,
the little lock. We just have our own
Can I say
little
something?
area.
Those storage areas are the least soundproof places a mouse could fart in the far corner, and
Yes.
the other far corner of the 2 football field size storage unit could hear that mouse fart. So if you
Right.
guys are playing metal music in there, how does that
Yeah.
work?
Okay, so how it works is there's already another band that uses another unit space in there for practice. The people who own the building are totally cool with it. They don't care.
That's wild.
Yeah, they don't care. Like people come in and out just to put their shit in here and leave. Like it doesn't matter. Like you guys can practice. Like when it doesn't matter. Like as long as we don't get complaints, y'all are good.
Can we give this as a fist bump for the owners of that place? You guys are great,
dude. That's what I'm saying.
You guys are anti old people, annoying.
Yeah.
And
and what's great is there's a code to get in the door. There's a code and lock on ours specifically. Like it's super secure. We don't have to worry about our stuff. We leave it there, and we've got sound dampening blankets and stuff hung. Like we're getting it at least so it's gonna sound decent enough in there for us to practice. But it's our space, and it's like the next exit up from my house. You know where the Walmart is? The next exit from my house?
No, I don't think you only take me to the Kroger's. I don't think you've taken me to the Walmart.
Okay, well it's the other way. Yeah, it's the other way. But it's right there, man. Like so close. It's like 7 minutes from my house.
Well, that's great.
Is great.
That is great.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it's only $150 a month, split between 6 people. It's like $25 a month.
For a practice space, it's great. For a storage space, that's probably pretty good too. I don't buy many storage spaces.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing I forgot to mention about this. It's a 3-story building with an elevator. We're on the 3rd floor, and it's heated and cooled, temperature controlled, climate controlled. Yeah.
Wow.
So we don't have to worry about heat, cold, anything. We're good. Everything's perfect.
That's awesome. This is a Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, sorry. You got
that's okay. That's okay. We're going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2, how it could potentially not only have potentially dual screens, but it could also have a lot other potential for accessories from first or third party. But before we get to that,
some might say attachments.
Hey, I like it. I will say this, Drip. Last week we had a different person on the show. We had Scott, Coffees with Games, caffeinated diabetic. You are not him. I announced last week that you were fired and Scott was hired.
Oh.
And I gotta say, it just didn't work out between Scott and I.
That's fine.
We had our creative differences. We did a great show. He told an amazing joke. If you listened all the way through from the beginning to the end,
I wish I did. I couldn't. My internet was just...
I'm also making this public PA announcement to the rest of the crew out here listening to the show. If you didn't listen to the end of the audio and video episode last week, not the stream, but the episode I created from the stream, you did yourself a disservice because he had a joke. He told his joke. You should go back and listen to that episode and listen to that joke at the very end. It's great. But we had our creative differences. I was offended by his joke. And after being offended by his joke of being a solid Italian man who talks with his hands, I decided to fire him. So, Scott is fired.
Well,
and Drip is rehired.
I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back. I said it was my internet. It was actually me. It was basically just me holding out contract stuff. Got to secure the bag. Nothing personal. Love G, but me and my agent, we decided, we have to wait till a deal's done. So we got our deal. No, I just didn't have internet. It wasn't working. Still don't know exactly what was going on with all that, but it's back.
Bizarre.
And it's fine now.
And you said tomorrow you're streaming. I was waiting for that stream last week. I was excited for it.
Yeah, dude, that's when I figured out that I couldn't do anything because
Yeah.
I was trying to stream, and I'm like, oh, wonderful. No, I can't do anything.
But you're streaming tomorrow,
but yeah,
right?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 11:30, I'm going to be putting the OLED screen in a Switch Lite. Yes, so that will be fun. Yes, tomorrow morning at 11:30. Actually, if you stick around after this podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, the redirect will just take you there, so you can go set yourself a reminder once you get over there.
Nice. Cool. So, Drip, you were fired, and then you were rehired. Any ill will between me and you? Are we cool?
No, like I said, man, just business. Just had to hold out for the contract. It's athletes do it all the time. It's the same type of thing. I gotta get something I totally forgot we need for this segment coming up.
Oh yeah. You go get that thing. While he gets that, I'm gonna keep the screen on here just so you guys can see him run around in his house because he's such a fool. Again, you gotta watch the show to see that. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome back, sir.
Hey.
I made fun of you running around.
Nice, cool. I figured you did.
Cool.
No doubt.
So we're guys, there is of course we know the Switch 2 is out, or excuse me, it's been announced, of course, but we haven't had our chances to check it out in person yet. Drip will have a chance in April to, with his golden ticket, go over to Nintendo New York and try the Switch 2.
Will.
And I wondered, Drip, because that's in April, and when's the Direct again?
April.
March, right?
The Direct is The Direct is April 2nd. I'm going April 5th.
Okay. I wonder.
It's literally days after the Direct.
Okay.
It's the very first one that people are going to be allowed to touch the thing. So yeah.
Drip and I plan on making a lot of content on his channel as well as on here about the covering that event that he'll be at. I'll be manning the fort down here in the editing station to make a couple videos out of that trip, and we also will be trying to make a podcast or two. Depending,
or 5
or clips and whatever. We're gonna try to do some content while he's there, and of course when he gets back.
For sure.
Yeah. So at that on the Direct Day, April 2nd, I wonder if they're gonna show off a few accessories for the Switch 2, Drip, because we got a nice little render. Of course, it's completely just a theory and an idea, not of course, there's no base in fact. We don't have any like part leaks or anything like that. There's no truth to this. It's only rumor and speculation. It's only speculation, no rumor. That the Switch 2 might have a second screen, as you can see from our thumbnail of this episode. The render's awesome. It pretty much depict exactly what I imagine could be with this thing.
Yeah, looks, I mean, that little video alone had me sold for a minute. I don't know. There's so many things about this that are just the more and more I keep thinking about it, the more and more I'm like, maybe this is actually happening. But so we're gonna get into all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I told G as we were talking on my way back home today that I thought it would be a good idea, and he agrees that maybe. Since we let's be honest, this probably isn't happening.
It's too
probably
good.
Not. It's too good.
The things
it's
that
way
are too
good. It's way too cool.
Yeah.
It's probably not happening. So I think that the best thing to do is probably just go ahead and get all the reasons why we know it's not happening out of the way. We just talk about that first, get it out of the way, and then we can go crazy with speculation and what ifs the rest of the time, because that's what we want to do, honestly. And I feel like that's way more fun than sitting here and just naysaying and talking down about it. I think it would be way more fun. So if you're all right with that, Jeeb, I have the main reason that this ain't happening.
And what would that be?
Battery life. It's battery life.
Yeah, I speculate myself the Switch 2 is going to struggle with battery, almost by design. Similar to how the Switch, similar to how the Switch
it's not
1
have a bigger battery.
Similar to how the Switch 1 only had like 2 to 5 hours max, and then like just a couple years later they released one that's more than twice the capacity, or not capacity, just it was really the chips. The chip was more efficient. They released a more efficient chip that utilized the battery twice as good. So I feel like we're probably gonna have a similar experience with this one. I think the battery life is going to be in the 2. I think it has to be in that 2 to 5 to start. It can't be lower. It can't be lower. Which would be a feat. It would be a feat. The Steam Deck doesn't do that. So that would be a feat if they were able to accomplish that, which they need to. That's something that they have to do with this system is good battery life. At least, and I don't mean good as in like 2 to 5 is good. Especially when you're looking at the handheld PC market. there's no handheld gaming consoles to compare it to. But as far as handheld PCs, 2 is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're talking like an intensive game, 2 hours, something a little more simple in the 5-ish range, I think that's the sweet spot. If we can hit that when this thing launches, and then maybe they can do an upgrade kind of like they did and get a little bit better out of it, I think that's probably where we're going to be at. But again, I think the main problem with attaching a screen with no battery of its own to this thing that's already trying to power a screen and everything else, all the processing, you're doubling. I mean, if it's an 8-inch screen, I don't see them putting the main screen. Because, let's think about that too. If this thing's going to be another screen, it's not going to be a smaller screen.
No,
because this would end up being the main screen you're looking at playing the game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because the bottom one would be like the whatever it would be. Yeah, if you're going to go along the lines of like the DS type thing. So you're going to put let's just say another 8-inch screen on this thing, and it doesn't even have to be touchscreen.
Well, the Switch 2 will be a touchscreen. There's no doubt.
Yes, the main screen.
Yeah,
the second screen. Doesn't have to be.
It will not. There's no chance that they put because then you're dealing with stability, and so it's going to make it incredibly hard to be stable.
That's the problem too, because that's another reason I'm like, well, and we're going to talk about this as we get into the fun stuff. Right now, we're talking about why it can't, but like for almost every single thing, is that a dog tail?
Look, my camera's so good you can see him now.
I see him back there.
He's not as black as Nutty as normally is. My dog in the back. Now he's passing by the chair. You can't see him.
Yeah. So like I think
he's not coming.
I think the funner part is when we can talk about everything I say right now and how it's also a reason that this could totally happen. I think it not being a touchscreen is both of those things. I think that would probably save on some. I don't
think the touchscreen. That's not even like a hot take. I think to have to remove the touchscree feature from the second screen. There's no reason at all. The bottom one's a touchscreen, plain as day.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
The Switch 2 will have a touchscreen. The Switch 2
will. No. I'm talking about We'll get there. I'm talking about the top screen. Yes, the Switch 2 is touchscreen. Obviously, there's absolutely no question about that.
So yeah, cost.
The second one,
and then the second one.
Yeah, cost is the second one. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Cost is the second one.
Battery life is the first one. And the second one, sorry, I ruined your thunder there. Cost would be another one. This thing, Drip and I talked about it on Theorizing the Phone the other day. If they release this thing, the bare minimum they would charge is $99. Which
think about it. And we kind of came to that with the conclusion of just kind of looking at the Portal. It's $200, but you're also getting a controller.
A whole controller, a battery, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, plus all the other stuff that this thing wouldn't have in it.
The only thing if they do something like this and do more, they're stupid. The only thing they have to do with this thing is literally a display panel with a USB-C port coming out of it to plug into the top port or bottom port, and we'll talk about that too later. And just some sort of hinge and connective just plastic system.
The housing. Yeah, that's it.
It's 3D print it for 10 cents, and hinge is probably 25 cents. It's really nothing. There's really nothing to this thing.
But the bare minimum to do.
But the display, if they go with the better tech, or at least to match the display that's already in the system, it's probably in the ballpark of $20 to $25, and they're going to make a profit off of it. So I think it's gonna be $99, or I think Drip at a better price. $129.99 would be like.
I feel that's where it just seems like a Nintendo price to me. That $129.99
would be like Nintendo would do that. Would do nothing less than 100. Not big because they would make profit on 50. If they sold it for 50, they make profit on it. But like they need a reason to do it. Like they need to make sure that if they do sell this thing, it's going to make them enough money to make it worth their while, because not everybody's going to buy this thing. So when we say cost is an issue, it's not necessarily cost to them to lose money or cost on us to be too expensive. It's just like, they need a reason to do it, and they're not going to sell hundreds of millions of units of them. Maybe not even tens of millions of units. It really depends.
Well, depending on if they did it, how they would market it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a whole nother thing too. Like that's a whole nother reason why this isn't going to happen. And honestly, I'm basically out of reasons why it isn't going to happen after this. But just the fact that are we really going to expect third parties to jump on board with this dual screen thing again? Are we real? Do we really want Nintendo to go down this road of dual screen again?
Yes.
With the DS and the 3DS type of stuff.
Yes.
Do we want them to I mean, you're kind of looking at these game, the third party game studios like, hey, like we know you want to put your stuff on our system, but you have to make a custom version of it with a whole nother, at least a menu system, something to cover up that other screen at this point, to do that. And I mean, then again, that's another thing too. Like they didn't show it in this, which means it tells me one thing: it ain't coming with the system. It's an add-on. So then to play these games, you're asking someone to spend another $130 or another $100, whatever it costs, to even be able to play the games. Which I feel like that, and when you get that much stuff going on, the mouse, the Joy-Cons themselves, another screen, like when you get that many things going on, you're starting to confuse the consumer. You're really starting to confuse the consumer, and I think Nintendo wants to stay away. I think Nintendo wants to stay far away from that, and I feel like adding this in, especially now, like if we see this on April 2nd, like people's heads are going to spin. Like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't necessarily agree with that, although I understand how they probably, again, like we said at the top, they're probably not going to do this.
They're not.
But like, God, there's so many reasons why they should, and I really want to tell you guys all those reasons. But before we do, we need to mention today's sponsor of the episode, who is Mobopad. Drip, you and I have tried a bunch of third-party accessories, but I think we both can say that Mobopad makes some of the best that we ever use, hands down. Yeah, they've recently put out the controller, the Mobopad N1 controller. It's a pro controller alternative. It's got your basic features for an affordable price. It's a great option. Comes with that Mobopad quality. Anything to say on it yourself there, buddy?
Honestly, it's a great controller for the price. It's everything you like about all the Mobopad stuff, but in an affordable package. It doesn't have the clicky buttons. It's got regular buttons. That's like probably the one thing I maybe like the other stuff better than this one particularly.
I really like membranes. I mean, I like membranes.
And a lot of people don't like the clicky buttons. So if you want Mobopad quality without the clicky buttons and for a pretty good price, this is probably the way to go.
Yeah, and you guys can
$45.
You guys can find that product at their link down below in the description. You can check it out. Also, their website, mopad.com. Go check out their stuff. They got some good stuff. And thank you very much, Mopad, for sponsoring today's episode. Drip. If Mopad could make a third-party screen attachment, like forget Nintendo, Mopad can do it. Can we please Mopad to make us a third-party screen for the Switch 2, please?
I mean, who knows? They might already have one. They already knew everything else about the damn
they
system.
Did. Man, they were right. We should do a whole episode one day about how
they were right.
They were damn.
I want
they were
more information
damn right.
on all that now.
Well, okay,
I got
actually,
two contacts at Mobopad now. I want to know everything both of them know separately. I want to get them both cornered into a room separately.
We don't know quite
yet.
We don't know quite. I got ahead of myself. We don't know for 100% they're right yet because we still need to know that most of the stuff they told us was internal stuff. But they got the magnetic Joy-Cons spot on in like August.
That way,
August. So, hey, one day we'll talk about it once we know more. Here are the reasons, Drip. And by the way, are reasons why not this is going to happen. It's incredibly short because you and I started talking about this and we kind of realized there's not a lot of reasons why they shouldn't do it. I mean,
dude, there's
really not.
More and more. Like, okay, so I drove to Pittsburgh today, and usually I'm doing this on either a Monday or a Wednesday. That's usually the days I go up to Pittsburgh to see my significant other. And usually when it's on Wednesday, I do a lot of podcast research on the way there and a lot of podcast research on the way back. Just in the way of like
pause. Something's happened. You're recording. Say something.
Check what?
Okay, that was really weird. Something happened, and your voice went all weird, and we'll just keep rolling like that never happened.
All right. So usually I'll just, I'll find the subjects we're talking about, maybe watch some videos or listen to videos. I'm not watching them while I'm driving. I listen to find some podcasts. People are talking about some stuff and just get some general information about this and that. Just educate myself on the subject. So when I come on here, I can, make better content.
Yeah.
Just so I know things. And I learned so much today about so many things and exactly why this should happen. If Nintendo doesn't do this at this point, I'm like, this is a huge huge miss. The only thing I would say, and I'm just gonna fix the problem right now. The only thing I would say is this cannot be a feature at launch. It can't. That's how they're going to be able to save the confusion. That's how they're going to be able to save all the things that we would worry about a Wii U situation happening. This needs to be later. Even if it's 6 months later, it needs to be later. And they can do it when they add DS, 3DS, whatever, to the Switch Online. Do it that way, but also say this thing is for more than just playing your DS games the way you remember them. We have this coming out. This game's coming out. This whatever, this, that. We're going to port these awesome games from the 3DS. These one,
Yeah.
We get the Ocarina of Time port from 3DS. We get the Majora's Mask port from 3DS. That version with the dual screen. We get whatever. Kid Icarus Uprising. That was on 3DS.
Yep.
You can do all that stuff with the dual screens, which is the way they could actually push it. And then from that point on, you start showing like games that would take that. And just like they've done with just about every other thing, there's multiple ways to play a lot of games on the Switch that, there's a few of the Mario parties where it's like you have to play just Joy-Con only. But those types of games are few and far between on the Switch where you only can play one certain way. And if we've seen if anything, you can take Wii U ports and port them to the Switch that has one screen just fine because they did it with every fucking game, every single one of them except for 2, 3, 4. They've done it with all of them.
That's because Nintendo themselves didn't take advantage of the Wii U because they quickly wrote the thing off because of the lackluster sales at the start.
It's true, but
So,
it just shows
even
it's possible.
their highlight game for the Wii U, Breath of the Wild, launched with nothing, no Wii U features, no touchpad features. So
and all you can tell they'd already moved on.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so that I think that would probably fix a lot of the problem if they did want to do this. How do you feel about that? Launching it later, launching it later.
The way, I of course I want it right this second. But it would be wrong of me to say that I think it should happen at the launch. It makes more sense to wait for all the reasons that you said.
But it's going to confuse people. This cannot be what the mouse functionality is going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This has to be somewhere between that and what the N64 controller is.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere in there and find a sweet spot somewhere in between there. And as we said, this thing's not going to be cheap. It's going to cost money if they're going to make this thing because while it only has to be a screen, it's got to be a decent screen because it's got to be at least as good or better. It can't be worse than the main screen because this turns into your main screen, right?
Basically.
Yeah, and we kind of went over all the costs and stuff and like all that. I mean, that's a whole nother reason why as much as we said that's why they wouldn't do it, I feel like that's why they will do it, especially if they do it that way. They just wait to put it out, and they're like, here it is. Like,
yeah, and announce whenever the day it comes that they decide they want to announce DS for Switch Online, which is soon.
Yeah.
Which is soon in the historical timeline of consoles and systems that get released to Nintendo Switch Online.
It's soon. I think something like that'll be right after. I mean, if not
within the first 2 years.
I mean, I would say first year. I would imagine we're going to get new stuff with the online service. Probably the first direct of the Switch 2's actual.
I mean, we're literally due for GameCube and DS. That is what we're due for.
That's next. Yeah.
What are the next? Those are the next two systems. So, that's TBD. We'll get there when we get there.
Let's see about that.
Let's talk about some reasons why it would happen. Because why the hell not is number one for me. That's my reason. Why the hell not? It's like we already explained. It's not going to be expensive to manufacture as long as they go with because the Switch 2 screen is not going to be an expensive panel. It's going to be an okay. It's going to be a good panel. It's not going to be blow us away. If the Portal's $200 with a whole controller in it, you can make for $100 package or a little slightly more or less.
The Portals, the screen, the Portal's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
well,
a really nice screen.
Screens are not as expensive as you think they are. It's kind of what I'm doing.
No, and it's LCD.
Yeah.
It looks fine. It looks so good. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's not expensive. There's no batteries in there. There's no Wi-Fi chips. There's no real board inside of this thing. It's basically just going to be a screen shelled with. They could even get cool with it, and they could shell making it look like a DS. Who knows? But it just needs to be a plastic shell, basic plastic shell with a hinge system. That's just it's really not that complicated, and attach it to the Switch body via some sort of bracketed plastic system that, again, not that complicated, not that expensive to manufacture, and a USB-C port that you could plug it into either the top or bottom, which, again, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and all the stuff like
why
the coding
hell
and
not? Why not?
No. Oh, and that's the thing. Like, it doesn't even have to be. It has to be. It can be so stupid. It needs nothing smart in it. Enough to recognize that it's plugged in and turn the fuck on. Like, that's it.
It's money is what it is. It's pure cash. They print those things, it'd be pure cash. Like,
it would be.
They'd be profiting, like, the profit margin of that would be extremely high.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, and I want to go into some other stuff too, because we kind of skipped over this, and this is important for context. The reason we're talking about this is because of two things. One, the reason that the second part of this even happened is because Nintendo filed a patent, and some stuff leaked from inside of the Switch's internal systems showing like things in the OS, like how things operate. It's stuff for Switch 2, but it's basically showing its commands letting the Switch know when the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are on the wrong way. So it knows how to twist the Switch itself upside down, but be able to attach this Joy-Con here,
left to right,
here,
right to
way,
left, yeah.
Which is basically going to put your middle USB-C on the top instead of the bottom. Now, we know it has two. It's got one on the top here. It's got one on the bottom. The one on the top is off to the side. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we were on the phone, but G brought up the point of like, why, if it's got one on the top, like, why do you even need to flip it? Like, yeah, he did acknowledge that there are cutouts and things that could be, moved around. You could just make the cutouts. You don't have to block anything. You just make the cutouts for the piece of plastic, which makes sense. But let's get a list of the stuff that's on top. 1, the game card slot.
Yep.
2, headphone jack. 3, not 100% confirmed, but it looks like there's some type of sensor or like camera on the top there. There's also a microphone up there. There's also a vent. There's volume up and down, power. There's a lot of stuff up there. Huge amounts of stuff. You flip it upside down, you're keeping all of that open. Every bit of that is open. You're open to the game cards. You don't have to worry about any of it. The only thing on the bottom you have to worry about at this point is just the 2 vents. And there's a big reason I did find out, because I was looking at my Switch today and I was like, well, that's interesting. Is that on the Switch too? And it is. There are 2 holes, basically, on the bottom of the Switch on either side of the USB-C port. Those are so when it goes in the dock, it lines up straight.
Yep.
Those are not on the top port on the Switch 2. They are on the bottom port for the Switch 2. So if you're attaching a screen, that is also going to give you some type of mounting system, so you're not putting all that pressure on the USB-C port itself. So that's why it would be flipped. Not only to keep everything open,
yes and
but
no.
then you've got those
let me
to lock it into place.
Good point.
Go ahead.
Good point.
Go ahead.
Not discrediting your point. A rebuttal, though, a counter way of thinking about it. Doesn't matter. You wouldn't have. It actually would be worse if they made the USB-C point one of those important points to clip into. That would be a worse design, because then you're putting pressure on the USB-C port. Whereas if you go with a different design of just basically make your hand into a, just claw, like a bear claw, imagine that's the plastic of this screen, and just clip it onto your Switch. And you're just holding.
You can do that too.
And then this is just plastic gripping onto your Switch, and then coming out of this thing could be a little wire with a USB-C thing. Pop it right in. Doesn't matter the orientation at all. And that
you could do both though. You could do it flipped upside down and then still have you still have them lock in right there on
Correct.
the top two little holes, and then just clip over the bottom.
Correct, but
for
if
more
you,
stability.
Correct, but in your only, yeah, but those two little dots on the bottom of the Switch, they're not like huge. They're just like.
Also, you ready for this? I got another one.
Sure.
I got another one. And you're right, they're not huge, but this would probably be huge. There's a reason.
Huge.
It's huge. It's huge. It's the biggest deal ever. It's probably the biggest deal we've ever talked about on this podcast. It's huge. It's big.
Deport original Switches.
There's a reason that the Switch Lite does not dock.
Yes, there is a reason.
It's
lacking the hardware inside.
Correct. This port has it. How do we know that the new port on top has that functionality? We don't know that yet, but we know this one does.
Can I say something?
The ability to output. We don't know that this one has the ability to do that. Go ahead. Yes. And that would be a cost-saving thing that Nintendo would do if they didn't need it there.
I don't know this for a fact, but I almost disagree that it would be cost-saving. I feel like you would have to remove, like, I feel like USB-C ports come with that. Do they not? Like, isn't that standard? You have to, like, go out of your way to remove the pins.
No, you don't, because there's even certain USB-C cables that don't transfer data. There's just cables that transfer like power.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not. Maybe
there's definitely ports that don't transfer power or data. You know, it's definitely a thing.
I feel like the pricing is not even significant enough.
And I don't even know. I don't even know if that. Yeah, you're right.
We're just completely.
Yeah, exactly. This is the speculation point of this podcast, which is basically the whole thing. But I don't know. But that's another thing. Why maybe the one on top doesn't work. But I do want to talk about one more thing. Something we actually covered on this podcast, and I totally forgot about it until I saw it again today. Do you remember in late 2023? I think we may have covered it in 2024.
Okay.
Nintendo filed a patent for a second screen. They filed a patent for a Switch with a second screen.
They filed so many patents. I believe you when you say it, but
they do, and we covered it. But the weird one about this is it also had a screen on the outside. It had two screens. So it was one like clamshell. Yeah, got that. But then when you close it, it had a screen on the outside too, which is strange. That's very strange. But this was more of a whole device. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it covered the whole thing. It wasn't like it just goes over the screen. This went over the control system as well, like the Joy-Cons on the side, but it looked to be whole. So I just want to go into like the deepest part of speculation town that we can get into right now without getting like mugged and shot. Okay. So I'm thinking way down the line here. Let's say they bump out this second screen and it becomes a thing and lots of things are using it, this and that. We get about 3 years into the Switch 2 life, and guess what they announce? The Switch 2 DS Lite. This version of the Switch 2, this version of the Switch 2 is a Lite, but instead of having the detachable screen, it's connected. It is an actual DS clamshell style, which they've already done. We've already seen them do that to the Lite. No Joy-Cons that disconnect. This one would have the dual screen, but doesn't disconnect. It's just the two screens. Maybe instead of being both 1080p, they're both 720. Save a little bit of cost. You don't really need to put anything else into it except for what you've already got. It doesn't have to have any other ports. It's completely hardwired in. I don't know what kind of cost saving that can go with, but that would be a way to make the Lite. I mean, think about the people who are just in love with their 3DS and their 2DS and their DS. The people who just lived for that. If you're telling me you get a DS or a 3DS, no 3D, 2DS, but it plays Switch games. It plays Nintendo Switch 2 games. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Hey, Drip.
How well that would do?
We have an awesome community. And I say that because I think who is it? DePizzi? Is that who put this in our chat here? In the members only chat in our Discord server, you can become a member and have access to that room if you subscribe at the link down below. DePizzi put the patents you were talking about in pictures of the patents.
Where's it at?
In our Discord. But they're on screen right now as well for the people.
Yeah,
who are
okay, I
watching
see
the
it on
show.
screen. Yeah, that's them. Yeah,
These
that's
are
what
the
I'm talking
patents that
about.
we're talking about. It's basically it's basically a 2DS. I mean,
It looks like a 2DS. Now, can you imagine a Switch Lite?
But there's a screen
Just
on the
imagine that
outside.
yellow ash Switch Lite with that.
And
who knows? Maybe the outside is just a way to watch content while it's closed.
That's an episode in and of its own. If you think about it, like, what will the Switch Lite 2 look like?
Yeah,
I'm
very interested in that.
Because think about this as well. Beyond this whole screen debacle, think about this. We're assuming we're assuming the mouse feature is going to be a significant one, even like up to the point where there's like a Miiverse or something. Is Miiverse is back or whatever you want to speculate of why they're bringing that feature into the Switch 2. The Switch Lite, other than being undockable, the other main notable thing about it was that it had no Joy-Con.
Yeah.
So how in the hell how are they going to make a Joy-Con-less mouse for the Switch Lite? They really going to expect people to have like a third-party accessory to plug in, or are they going to do something even more wild and crazy?
Just make a Switch mouse. Make a Switch mouse.
Well,
just make that mouse.
Drip. I'm thinking right here.
Okay,
it's
go,
live
go.
processing in my brain. We're using this. We're using this brain. We're cooking. What if this was the Switch Lite? Well, this thing we're looking at again on screen here. What if
that's what I'm saying?
Hold on, what if this was a Switch Lite, and to get around the fact that it's not going to have Joy-Con, but it needs mouse input? Touchscreen is the mouse.
Ooh.
Touchscreen is the mouse input.
But you would need that. I don't know.
Touchscreen is the mouse input.
Okay, that's possible. Yeah,
because
you can get around with that.
there'll be games that support mouse, and it's not gonna be convenient to like try to play.
No, but you're right. You
but
could totally,
if there's a Miiverse feature, if there's
a
social feature that's required, that the mouse is gonna be required for.
You don't necessarily need the mouse. It makes it easier. You're right. You could just totally use touchscreen.
You could get away with
Think about
using
a computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah, think about like even touchscreen computers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do the same exact thing you can do with a mouse. That's actually a really good idea. That's the perfect way to get around it. And I guarantee for every game that there is a mouse feature, I bet there will be a touch screen version of doing that. Whatever
it'll suck.
Command. Yeah, it's not going to be great, but it's your way around it.
Yeah,
it's your way around it. Now another thing. To touch again on these patents really quickly, I do kind of want to talk about when this was filed and what we're seeing them file now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nintendo files an insane amount of these things all the time.
Yes.
They're always like, you know what I mean? They're always doing research and development and patenting things because they make these ideas and they just shelf them and they end up coming back to them. You know, when technology is different or they have a better idea of how to do it, but they make sure nobody else is going to fuck with it while they're doing that. What if this was just one iteration of that and they haven't actually filed the real one?
What do you mean?
Quite yet.
What do you mean?
What if this thing that they filed back then was just their first version of this type of thing that they were trying to do, and the screen that we think could be on this thing, actually the patents for that have not been filed yet, the real ones? Because we just saw them file patents for things that we know are on the Switch 2. And it was after they showed those things. Then they just filed them. Because it doesn't make sense for them to be filing this stuff so early if it's something they're really going to use and put out there, which I know there were some indications that the Switch was going to have detachable controllers from patents, but it wasn't the actual patents. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was an iteration of it, something like it.
Right.
So what if this is just that? And then we actually see the real thing later on. So that's what I'm saying. Like the patents are a, you know, it's an interesting thing to look at, and it's somewhere we can go to be like, look, they are at least messing with the idea of this. Clearly, they are interested in this idea. They're working on it.
Yep.
They're doing something. So I just don't know if this is the actual one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if they're going to do this, that they probably still held it pretty close to the, they've got it still in their pocket. They're not going to let us see it yet.
I just love the idea. I mean, we're going to start to have to think about it, and I do think we should do an episode. It probably after the Switch 2 comes out, because there's no chance we see Switch 2 Lite anytime soon.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, let's wait till the
yeah.
Switch 2 hype dies down a little bit.
But I mean,
we're looking for new stuff.
That is an episode we should do, and we should talk about with people.
Oh, 100%.
Like the
man.
Switch 2 Lite, or Switch Lite 2, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be radically different than the original one. It has to be.
There's going to be a lot. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more cooler stuff. Yeah. Okay, here's another thing too. Even beyond the Switch Lite and what that's going to do. The other patents, since we're going on patents that have come out, it looks like whatever Pro controller they're going to put out, possibly, we don't know for sure because again, they put this stuff out there, but it looks like the Pro controller that they're going to have for the Switch 2, if this is it, is very slim in the middle and maybe will come apart into two sections to be used as a mouse. Now,
I hate that.
I fucking hate that. Absolutely hate that. Because if that's what happens, I hope this controller right here, I hope this MobilePad controller works for the Switch too, because I'll use this instead.
I'll just wait for the third-party ones to do it better and cheaper.
Yeah, everyone. Oh God. Okay, but here's my point. Here's my point with that. It looked to be, and I don't have that patent in front of me, but I do remember it being a little smaller in the center. And I want to bring up an idea that you have been talking about forever. Which we know is somewhat dead because the dock doesn't look to be capable of doing things like this.
Yeah, I mean, just rip the Band-Aid off here, Drip. It's my idea that the Switch 2 was going to be which I was even reiterating the night before the Switch 2 was shadow dropped, that the Switch 2 was going to be the Switch 2U and have Wii U features using dual screens. I think we can safely say that idea is dead, even if the screen thing's a thing.
Maybe
I think it's well. Okay, I guess you're going with this somewhere.
Well, think about this.
Okay,
think about what we had at the time with a 3DS and a Wii U. Two completely different things that were basically doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So, what if there is some functionality in there? What if some of this works? Let's say you put that dual screen on your Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that works. It connects, it does its thing, whatever. I mean, how much technology is there in transferring an image from one place to another? Because we've seen it done in a few different things. I had a USB it was actually an HDMI connection. It did some weird stuff where it was a wireless HDMI connection. And this was years and years and years ago, okay? You plug this little box into the HDMI port, and then you had your Switch across the room, wherever, and you plug the other piece into that, and it just wirelessly transmitted from that over to here, 1080p, no problem.
Well, that's how it works. That's the Wii U.
Right. It works. So there's not a whole lot going on there. And that was years and years and years ago. So
the Wii U came out 15 years ago.
not new technology. So I may be missing some little pieces of this here. So let's say they put out a screen that you can put on your Switch and play in handheld mode. That just works, right?
Yeah.
So clearly there's something in the Switch that's telling that other screen what to show, how to work. It's doing the processing in the Switch, correct?
Yeah.
What if there's also another way for it to talk to the controller you're using, but also give it that same signal? Same way with that HDMI technology that I'm talking about. And maybe that screen not only attaches to your Switch, but might attach to your Pro controller as well. And you still have that touchscreen functionality while you're holding a Pro controller sitting on the couch using your TV as the other screen.
We are going so far into crazy land.
Listen, I'm deep.
If you were skeptical at the beginning of this episode of this whole idea, Droop's not ruined it. You've already left.
Oh yeah, I mean this is way into speculation town. Like we are deep now. We're gonna have to start turning around.
Even I don't think that's even remotely close. Of course it's possible, but not remotely close to what it's gonna look like. If it even happens.
I don't really think it is either. But that's kind of one of the things I was trying to think about on the way back though. is if this is a dual screen thing in handheld mode, are they really going to give you absolutely no way to have that handheld or that TV dual screen? Like, are you just not going to be able to have that? You could only do it in handheld if they're going to do
I
this?
think
Isn't
you're
that weird?
overestimating what this product will be. I think it's fair to say that because I think I put this idea in your head a while ago that we could have this dual screen gaming to Switch 2
because
thing.
the technology's
Because
there.
Right. I put this idea in your head, and I think it is dead. I think that idea is dead. Especially because we already agree that they're going to release this thing after the Switch 2 is already launched. If it was going to be that cool feature with like games are going to take advantage of it, don't you think it would be a launch feature?
It would be.
What this product is going to be is exactly what I want it to be. Of course, I wanted more, but now that idea is dead, what I want now from this screen, I want the possibility of 3DS and DS games native. I don't want to buy a weird emulator with the clamshell emulator for a couple $100 that doesn't work well because 3DS is hard to emulate. Or not hard to emulate, but it's more difficult because there's two screens.
Setting
necessary.
it up correctly, I'm sure is not the funnest thing.
I want a dual 8-inch DS. I want to play Nintendogs natively on a Switch 2 with two dual 8-inch screens, and that's what the product will be. That's if they release this at all, which we've already acknowledged is going to be a low chance they even do it all. The only thing it's going to do is handheld, and is going to play those 3DS games.
So you're 100%
and DS games. There's no.
You don't think that
there's no
chance that they try to do this in a couch type of situation.
There's nothing you could say to convince me otherwise because that's too radical. That's to get the.
I know that's wild.
Unless it comes out on release day, and April 2nd, we see something in the direct with it there. If they do this thing at all, it's going to be a DS, 3DS, not Wii U, because the Wii U games are all already on the Switch as it is, except for two of them, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, and those games
Star
are
Fox.
GameCube games anyway. That don't need to be. They're already designed for one screen. They just got to upscale them to Switch 2. There's no need for any other games for Wii U games, but definitely for the DS library of games, and maybe even longer down the road for 3DS. But definitely, like I'm thinking within the first 8 to 16 months of the Switch 2's life, we'll get a new we'll get GameCube and DS in that time frame. Instead of the 860, I'm making stuff up. Let's just say the first 3 directs we're gonna have announced, not counting April's direct. We'll have GameCube come to the Switch 2 and Switch Online. It's naturally what's next, and then we'll have what's naturally after that. After Game Boy Advance is DS, and that second screen will be with it. It'll probably be another stupid thing where you got to buy it through Nintendo Switch Online subscriber, all that jazz. It'll be really annoying. It'll be limited. It'll be in the secondhand market. It'll be out of this world. You'll be able to play it. 8 inches is plenty big enough. That's what she said. To be able to play it.
I was going. I wanted to say that.
It's plenty big enough to be able to play handheld on one screen. It's plenty big enough. Okay.
Well,
but just like it's plenty easy enough to play 64 game without that ridiculous controller. It's plenty easy enough, and that's
is it? Oof. I don't live that life. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like people didn't need to buy that controller to play 64 on Nintendo Switch Online, and they won't need to buy this screen. They won't need to have this screen to play DS Online, but it'll be a nice thing to have.
Okay,
two things. And one more thing, and just think about this too. How cool would it be? Because we're going to need some significant amount of plastic on this thing to clamshell safely onto the Switch 2. What if they just make basically a case? It's a case that goes in your Switch.
For the Switch itself.
That has the screen built in, and the case looks like your DS.
You can get it in that like metallic red or blue.
The gray. I'm thinking the gray, the classic DS gray.
I was thinking my 3DS was red. I really liked.
Well, yeah, but they wouldn't do multiple colors. We already know that because they didn't do multiple colors. But
they went with the
GameCube one. I'm sorry, the 64 one. So yeah, it'll be probably that. How cool would it be if they just made it a whole case and it clamshells clips right on. The screen's right there, plenty of rigidity. I mean, it's sitting there for Nintendo just to tee off.
It is.
It's
Okay.
so easy.
Listen, two things. One, I want to read a little something from the chat here from Joey Pitts.
Oh,
Quote, nothing you say will change my mind. End quote. Sounds like John Ebo.
oh, stop it! Do you have that clap?
Two.
Did you have that clap? The John Ebo clap, we're calling it
What is it?
from
Oh,
earlier.
wait, no,
Did
it's
you-
not. I
you didn't
I
set it
can't.
up?
It's
That's okay.
It's
Don't do
here,
it.
But
Don't
it's
do
not.
it. Don't do it.
Okay.
We'll debut that when he comes to the show. We have a new
Okay, the
sound for
actual
Johnny.
thing. What is it like? How? And this is kind of where we can end.
Hold
this,
on,
but
and I'm sorry.
just
I
wanna-
need to defend myself first because I wasn't saying that in an arrogant stance. I was saying that in I can't imagine. Like I can't imagine it. I can't imagine they would do anything else. Like as if to say,
listen, I don't imagine
I can't
them doing
imagine what
this
an
at all.
alien would look like until it pops down in front of me and I see it. Then I'll be able to imagine an alien. So like, I want
Brother,
Drip to.
unless
I
you're,
want
unless
Drip.
you're in
Drip
5D,
needs to
you're not
plop.
going to be able to see the aliens.
Drip needs to
Bray.
plop down in front of me and really explain to me what his idea is to change my mind.
Oh, I don't have
Otherwise,
I
and
don't
there,
have
and that's
one. I
why I
don't
said
have
that.
the- yeah,
There's
I don't
hardly
have the
anything you could say to
technology,
change my
yeah.
mind on it because I would need to be convinced of it, and I'm just not
Yeah,
convinced.
that's something I can't even fathom how it would work. And I'm sure, even though I say, like, yes, I've seen that technology and it was years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, where else have you seen it besides that weird thing that was sent to me? Like, I haven't seen it anywhere else. So it can't be that mainstream of technology. Like, you can do it.
We also don't have any, there's no evidence of that feature. Like there's evidence of a clippable screen onto the Switch. It's kind of far fetched, but it is there. There is some evidence that could suggest
Yeah, it could happen.
we could see
Yeah.
that based off the patents and whatnot. But there isn't anything to go off of like, and it also will connect to a Pro controller, and it will have Wi-Fi to the Switch unit itself. Like none of the, if the Switch 2 dock had the hardware that we thought it did, but it doesn't. Like we now know it doesn't. But if it did have it, and there was some sort of patent where there's a controller and a screen, maybe we could go there. But the whole reason we're even going here in the first place is because there is some data to suggest maybe it's a possibility. And don't get me
There's
wrong
more
here,
data.
Nintendo is definitely doing this in-house. You can guarantee that they have clamshell attachments with a screen on a Switch 2 right now, sitting on a desk somewhere. Like 100%.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they
There's whole
patented it. There's
departments.
something, yeah.
There's whole departments meant to be playing
Well,
around with
dude,
stuff like
you're
this and
talking about-
inventing stuff.
You're talking about factual evidence of why this would be a thing. Let me give you one of the biggest pieces of factual evidence that we haven't even talked about. The Nintendo Switch has sold what? 150 million units? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
150 million? Is that the number?
Recently, yep. The recent investors meeting revealed that number. Yep.
What's the only other Nintendo console ever to sell that many units? More, actually.
The Nintendo DS.
Correct. Correct, my friend. Now think about it. Think about it. They know. They already know. Like, that is a group of people who want two screens. It shows. Now, maybe times have changed. I'll give you that. Times have changed. Maybe the gimmicks and that Nintendo is proof enough that they know gimmicks aren't what they used to be. They're not what they used to be. That's why we don't see a ton of them in the Switch 2. We see more of what's working, just better versions of it. So at the same time, while we do see, 175 million or 155, whatever it is, however many millions of units the DS sold, you know the 3DS sold 75 million? The
That ain't-
3DS
Ain't not
sold
just
75
that ain't nothing
million.
to sneeze at.
No, hell no.
The
It's almost
Xbox
100
Series,
million.
Xbox Series will never reach that number.
No, that's what I'm saying. Combined, I mean, dude, over 200 million with the 3DS and the DS. You're telling me there's not a market out there for dual screens? You're fucking crazy if you think that's the truth.
And not that the emulation market
Actual
really
data
Yeah.
proves it.
not that the emulation market really speaks to the whole market, but it is something to say that right now we are seeing a little influx in dual screen devices, clamshell devices. Whether that's to
Neo's
whether
put out
that's
like 20 of them.
whether that's to emulate the Game Boy Advance, which we've seen some of those, but it's not dual screen, but it's clamshell. We have seen a couple, but a couple of the clamshell screen devices, where it's literally it's not just for that. You can play other games on there, but it's meant to play 3DS games and DS games because it has two screens. They make them. So if they're making them, there's a market for them.
INEO probably just made a new one as we were doing this podcast. So.
it's shipped. Someone said, so they were listening to this show and they were like, done.
They posted it on Twitter.
They just shipped it to the first customer.
Because I get all the emails, man. I've never seen a company put out more consoles. It's fucking nuts how fast they produce those things. They probably
if they want to sponsor this show and send us some, I ain't going to criticize them. Let me just say that.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. I already asked. They don't. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, people are making them. People want to play those games, and they're hard to play. They're hard to play in other places because they require two screens. And Nintendo, not only do they own the games,
oh man,
they've done this before, and they've got the fan
I'm sorry,
base.
Drip, but the pirate, you lost the pirate. We need the pirate back because I was about to make an emulation comment about how I played.
Fuck, I gotta get the pirates.
How I played my own copies of 3DS games on my Steam Deck, and it's not a great experience. Yarg. You don't get it back right now. You can't have it back right now.
Damn it.
Too late.
I hate this. I hate my life right now. I don't even want to continue with this. I don't have my
Come and get it, Drip. Come and get it.
I don't have anything. This is awful. This isn't even fun
next
anymore.
week. You'll get them back next week. I'll send you. I'll schedule 15 texts between now and next week, so you set your sounds back up.
I'll do it. I mean, I'm gonna do it. I've been doing like actual work down here, so like
yeah.
I mean, I set my stream up. That was easy.
That's work. Sounds for the podcast is work. That is work time.
Work. Okay.
Dude, I spent an hour today. I spent an hour, not video editing, not streaming, which I was going to stream, but I was like, I need to do this more. I had like 300 gigabytes worth of videos from PlayStation Corner, from your channel,
my
some of my own stuff, and I just needed to get transferred over to save space because it wasn't just the videos themselves; it was like all the files that it takes to create an episode, especially PlayStation Corner videos. There's like 15. There's 15 whatchamacallits, like video, like trailers for the. Anyway, there's a lot. I had like 300 gigabytes I need to get rid of. I only have 1 terabyte locally on the system. I have the external ones, but locally in the system, I only have a 1 terabyte right now. And like, I'm rocking 30% of that was filled with like the last 3 months of videos stuff. So I had to transfer all those files over to my slow ass
700 gigs, maybe 700. Yeah, I got 500 external and 256 internal. I'm tight on space.
Well, yeah, I was talking about just local on my system. I do have the 2 terabyte. I had to transfer my 2 terabyte hard drive that I saved this stuff on. I don't have that.
And dude, wipe all that stuff I send you. Once we make the video, we saved the B-roll in the Dropbox or the drive.
I usually like once a month I'll go and delete all of those things. I haven't done it for 4 months. I hadn't done it for 4 months. So I had like hundreds of gigabytes of things I needed to get rid of because my computer was not happy. As far as storage space. Okay, wrapping up the show with this. Shut up, phone. What are some accessories other than this screen could we see Nintendo put out? And this is going to be the old, like, oh, Nintendo can put out all these types of other Joy-Cons. Talking about the Switch 1 era. Like, they could put out fat Joy-Cons. They could put out skinny Joy-Cons. They could put out controller Joy-Cons. They could put out every system imaginable, GameCube ones, cut in half. And they never did any of it. So they're probably never going to do any of these that we come up with tonight. But let's just say Nintendo doesn't suck anymore, and they like fun again. What fun accessories could they use that other USB-C port on top? What fun accessories could they put out to take advantage of it?
The one that we saw besides the screen in that same video, that same render video, was the camera. But I didn't like what type of that was like a webcam. And that's cool. Like, that's fine. I'm sure there would be something you could use that for, video chat, this, that. But like, I think it would be really cool if a third-party company, like somebody like DJI or somebody who actually makes some cameras, some small 1-inch sensor cameras that really look good, those really nice, like a GoPro, like I said, DJI. Like, Sony makes 1-inch sensors that are absolutely insane. Actually, this camera right here, you saw it earlier, pretty good picture, right?
Yeah.
This eMeet 4K
Mhm.
webcam. This has a Sony 1-inch 4K sensor in it. Looks pretty damn good, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Look how big that is. That's tiny.
What is my
It's very
OBSBot? What does my
small.
OBSBot have that you sent me? Do you know what's in that one?
I think there's a Sony in that too.
Because
a 1-inch sensor.
it's a very good sensor. It's still webcam. Like no doubt, you look at this thing. It's
right,
like
it's
there's
a 1-inch sensor.
there's
You can only
there's-
get so
it's-
much out
It's
of
a
it.
webcam, but it is the most premium webcam I've ever
But
seen in person.
What
for sure.
what I would like to see is a company like that just take a stab at something that connects to the Switch and make the Switch something that I would take out with me and be like, "Dude, I got this. Like, it's fine. I don't need anything else. Like, I'm going to film this thing real quick. Like, I usually quickly use my phone. I'm already holding I'll just use just switch to camera mode. Use my Switch. It's bigger. Can make it more
Are
stable.
you joking?
Why not? If I'm already holding the Switch,
Are you?
I think it'd be cool.
Are you the guy who's taking your iPad out and like recording your
I'm
your
not,
son at the
but
ball
I'm
game
telling
with
you
an
this.
iPad?
I'm telling you this, other than my phone having the gigantic screen it does, most people don't have this gigantic screen.
I got the old camera out from 1980s. This is probably from the set.
Jesus. Okay.
Take a photo. Go, okay, ladies. Thank you very much.
This phone does not have an 8-inch display.
Yeah.
The new Switch 2 will have an 8-inch display. So that 4K camera that you're holding instead of like this trying to film and keep it stable, you've got two giant handles on the edge and you're filming nice smooth shots with your Switch with an 8-inch display to check it out as you're filming. Oh my God, yes, I'd use the fuck out of that, especially if it looked good. If the quality was there, if a real
It's
company was
not
making
gonna
it,
be there.
absolutely.
What in the world would suggest you that Nintendo's going to put quality cameras
Okay,
in an
first
accessory?
off, nothing. You asked me a specific question. I am answering that specific question.
I mean, let's
you
look-
asked me
Did you
what I would want to see
remember
in
what
a
the 3DS?
third party,
What the
third party add-ons. That's what I want. As a photographer,
Okay.
as someone who does video for a living,
That just seems
that is what I would like to see.
with a device that it's going to have like an hour battery life or less with that camera on it. Like even if they could put a good camera in a third party accessory, the battery life on the Switch it's going to power for what? 15, 20 minutes? Then it's going to shut off?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll
That's
put a battery
rid-
pack on it.
Yeah, no. Because this is not an iPhone. This is the very cheap Android phone, but your iPhone will get like 4 hours of 4K filming and has amazing OIS that allow.
Yeah, but it's not a Switch.
I did ask you a question. You did answer it, and I'm not judging
I'm
you
just
on your
saying.
answer.
This is what you asked. This is what I would want. I think that would be the coolest thing they could give me, honestly.
A camera.
If somebody came in,
can't put-
a Sony,
like-
a DJI, somebody who makes those types of things came in, was like, bam, Switch attachment. Look how cool this is.
You've completely knocked me off my rocker.
Day one.
This is the most
pre-order.
ridiculous. Like not
two
the
of
camera. The camera's not a ridiculous thing. That'd actually be great. That would be great to have a camera function, because if there's going to be social features with those Joy-Cons in the next Switch, might as well have a camera as well, so you can socially chat with video as well. That's not what knocked me off my rocker. It's you want to do legit photography with it, and that's just unbelievable. No.
Video, at least. I mean, maybe not photography, but video. Yeah, sure.
Well,
Why
videography,
not?
photography, it's the same thing. Like
It's not.
no.
It's very far from the same
In
thing.
a
Very
nutshell,
far.
we live in a nutshell, Drip.
They are both images. That's about all they have. Okay, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm not going to get into that conversation with you. Yes, I would find that as a very cool thing to have. I would find that as a very, very, very cool thing to have. I understand that you don't, and maybe some other people wouldn't either. That's something that I would really enjoy. Now, let me ask you, Mr. Drip's idea fucking blows donkey dick. What's your idea? Tell me your fucking wonderful idea for an accessory that's going to just blow mine out of the water.
A screen.
Crickets.
A screen.
A screen. No, you can't use that one. That's
What's
the
my
easy
idea
one.
originally? What's my idea originally?
Crickets.
I honest to God, I don't have one. I mean, you can look at our Discord notes. I wrote camera, and then I have nothing after that. Like, I got nothing. Like, but here's the thing.
Oh,
There are what I can say is that there are plenty of things that some people will come up with. Companies will come up with.
Hey,
like,
here's the thing.
y-
I'm gonna make a video about this,
Mhm.
and I already have like 4 things in my cart that plug into USB-C that are absolutely fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
But they are accessories that you could attach to a Switch, and I'm going to. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, but I will tell you one of them gives you wireless charging, which is actually kind of cool.
That would be cool.
There's not a lot of stuff out there. Like that you can really,
honestly, a battery pack it would be one I have. Like, if they could,
those
like,
already exist.
but with the Switch 2, it'll be better because there's the 2 USB-C ports on it. So that upper battery pack could just live forever as the
Just stays there.
battery pack port that extends your battery. Yes, it'll be bigger and heavier to carry around, but it'll be much more convenient than only the one port, and now you have the second port that's dedicated to the battery pack. And I'm talking like a clip-on system, kind of like what they already sell.
Yeah, they do sell that. I sent you one. Didn't I not send you that?
The box is right here. Here it is.
Yeah, I
This
sent
thing's
you
awesome.
one.
I haven't tried it out yet. Not on the
Dude,
I'm not going to use it on the Switch because I don't need it.
It's sick. The one thing I didn't send you-
I've never run out of juice on my Switch and not been within a wall. So
The one thing I did not send you, the other accessory, they only sent me one of that goes with that, is a big, huge, chunky metal stand with a big magnetic plate on it. So you can just like pop it on there. Yeah. It's really nice. I do like that.
I gotta find it. I'm looking for it later. But I plan on
a
using
keyboard.
it. I plan on using it for like my phone, especially when I'm traveling. It's gonna be super convenient.
Well, okay. So Joey in the chat here says a keyboard, then also says, guys, what if I can use my old Switch 1 as the dual screen for the Switch 2?
That was my idea.
I mean, hey, it would have its own battery. You wouldn't have to worry about battery life.
That was my idea, Joey. It basically was to use the old Switch unit as a screen, as a controller and a screen for the Switch 2 games. That's not gonna happen.
I don't think they're not gonna rely on the old Switch for anything to do with the Switch 2. You cannot rely on an old system to.
As of recently, it sounds like the Switch as it is probably going to die sooner than we think. Like Nintendo, apparently some wording of Nintendo. This could be like clickbait stuff that I saw today, but I haven't looked into it yet. Maybe it'll be next week's episode. I don't know. But Nintendo kind of suggests that there's not even a guarantee that there will be any new games at all outside of Metroid Prime 4 and ZA. Like those could literally be the last releases for the system. Period. But that we'll get to that later.
We can talk about that in another episode. Just a little teaser on that. It does look like the first one to go is going to be the OLED.
What do you mean to go?
From what
to
be pulled off the market, the OLED's going to be the one that they're going to pull.
Probably
it's too close to the price, and it looks like they're pulling the actual OLEDs we know right now completely off the market when they're gone, and they're going to be bundled with Mario Wonder going forward until they're gone.
The OLEDs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the OLED I just sold to Hero might be worth more then. Who knows?
Maybe.
Although I do have the V1 upstairs, and the V1 is actually worth a lot because it's the moddable one.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Drip, I would say that's an episode.
It is. Well, I think we covered everything.
You know,
probably
Drip,
like 4 things I forgot.
After I fired you, I didn't have any regret. I hated your guts.
It's fair.
But I thought about it. But I thought about this. There's something that you can't acquire, whether that's money.
What's that?
With time you can, but it's not guaranteed. Chemistry.
Yeah.
This show is nothing but you and I and our ridiculous chemistry that we've built over the past.
That's it. That's what we got.
Like 5 years, basically.
Yeah, that's why. That is exactly what I said in my contract negotiations.
You are, whether I like it or not, Drip, you are literally irreplaceable.
Oh, wow. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but either way, thank you so much.
I got to think about whether it is. But, guys, he's back. Guess who's back? Back again.
I don't have any of that either.
No,
I have nothing. Wait,
nothing.
I have this one. I have one. Stop. I have one.
Drink a beer, Drip. Cheers to you. This episode is over. We are going to go. Are we doing an after show? Do you have a few minutes, or do you want to just wrap this up?
We're gonna wrap it tonight.
We're gonna wrap it tonight. That's fine with me.
I will say this before we go. There is a redirect. I'm just gonna warn you now. Nobody's there, but It is for my live stream tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern. We are going to be putting a OLED screen inside of a Switch Lite at 11:30 tomorrow morning. When this stream stops, it will take you there. Go over there.
Now,
set the little reminder. Do the
question
little
for you.
reminder thingy.
Question
so you can
for
come
you.
hang out while I'm doing this and give me some moral support because I'm really like worried.
Did you
That's cool.
already forget about the other thing happening tomorrow?
The Pokemon Presents. It's at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Pokemon. I mean, I'll check it out. What's there going to be? It's going to be a gigantic.
If you just went an hour
undercooked
earlier,
nothing burger.
If you just went an hour earlier, you could watch the direct with people and then do the screen after.
No. I actually might go drive halfway and meet my girlfriend for breakfast because she doesn't have to go to work till later tomorrow. So we might go do that, and then I'm going to come back and do this. So I'd rather do that.
It's all about the
Pokemon.
lady now. It's all about the lady.
Dude. Hey.
You're trying to keep me. You're trying to keep me. Your side bitch hat.
Pikachu can kiss my ass.
You're
dude.
trying to keep your side piece happy with sugar daddy gifts.
Yeah, dude. I'm throwing you hats and yeah, man.
You send me gifts and you go kiss the other one.
I'm sorry. Listen. Either way, 11:30. We're putting an OLED screen in a Zelda Switch Lite. Come hang out because I really am going to need moral support because I had a bad feeling I'm going to fuck this up.
And if you guys are watching this after the Drips live stream is already over, of course, that doesn't mean you can't go back and check it out. I'm sure it was a very interesting thing. You could at the very least, go scrub through and see where he messed up.
God.
Because I'm sure he's going to break his Switch tomorrow. We're going to.
No,
he's going to break it. And we're all going to watch it. It's going to be funny.
I hope that doesn't happen. Because I really want this to be like my main Switch going forward.
Go
I really
slow.
just want to use the Switch Lite.
Go slow.
I'm gonna have the video pulled up here too. We're gonna be referencing the video after every step, making sure we got all of it right. I'm gonna take my time. I feel like there may be a part 2 later tomorrow afternoon because like 11:30 to like 2 is what I have.
Well, that's actually perfect because I was gonna stream tomorrow as well. I'm actually that's if you stop at 2, that's perfect because that's kind of when I wanted to start.
Right, you're gonna hang out for a little bit with me, aren't you? Right?
Oh, I'll be there the whole time. I'm just saying that I'll be streaming.
God.
It sounds like
I was gonna say you're not gonna make me do this on my. I'm gonna need like, you're gonna have to watch this too and be like, hey, dude, stop! Don't fucking do that. Like I see what you're about. Don't stop.
No, I'll be there the whole time. I'm just saying I was already planning on streaming myself tomorall. And,
oh, good. Well, you can just go it too. And if I have to do a part 2 when you're done, I'll just go back on and finish it up.
All day tomorrow we might be live. So if you're listening to this episode, there's probably a live stream happening today.
Dude, I have this idea too.
Right now.
Before we jump off, actually, no, we'll talk about it later. Go ahead. Good show. We'll see you guys later. Make sure you go over to the live stream when it takes you there and at least set yourself a reminder.
Cool. All right, guys. Pokemon Presents tomorrow too, so don't forget about that. That'll probably unless something crazy happens at that event. We're not going to do an emergency show tomorrow.
Dude, I mean, sleep through it. Sleep through it. Oh, I don't. It's fine.
No,
just
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake
up
up to check it out and then go back to sleep like I did with the last one. I just want to make sure that there's nothing cool. Like
there's not gonna be.
You're not a Pokemon fan. I am, and I want to see what Z has to offer.
Z maybe. I didn't think we're gonna get that much of that. To be honest,
I would be shocked if we didn't, and I could be shocked tomorrow. I'm open to the fact that tomorrow they could shock me tomorrow, and because if they don't show anything, that means that they're really taking their time with ZA, which is a good thing. If they don't show us anything tomorrow, that's a good thing because they're taking their time with ZA. So I'm fine with that. Anyway, we need to end this show. What a great show, guys. We're back. Guess who's back? Drip won't be fired. His and my chemistry cannot be acquired.
Cannot be replicated.
Cannot be. I can be replaced though. I suck. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.